So when's the last time you just laughed your head off? I'll be honest, I don't really laugh as much as I used to. I feel like life can get really serious, especially amidst COVID-19. There's this tendency to kind of take life really seriously. There's a lot of political tension right now. There's probably some relational tension going on as we get into the school year, and maybe you're homeschooling your kids or dealing with a different schedule with your spouse, or maybe you're going back to school and there's tension in your heart about what's going on in your life. And maybe you simply haven't laughed a lot in a while. We were at dinner a few nights ago and my little boy was just kind of being quiet across the table, and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, you never laugh." And I thought, I laugh, son. What's wrong with you? Of course I laugh. And I was a little offended by it, but the reality is it's kind of true. I don't laugh as much as I used to. And I wonder for you, have you laughed about something and just taken a deep-seated joy in something? Have you ever laughed till you cried, where there's just tears running down your face? And this is the kind of joy I believe that God actually wants His people to experience. In the weight and the burden of life, in our fears and our sorrows, it starts to kind of choke out our joy. It chokes out our laughter. There's this text in 2 Corinthians, and it says this, the point is this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. And it says, each one must give as he has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And it goes on to say, and God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times you may abound in every good work. I want you to think about that text. God loves a cheerful giver. As I was reading that, I was comparing it to the Greek, and this word cheerful, this is so interesting, is the Greek word hilaron. It's where we get the word hilarious. So literally this text says God loves a hilarious giver. Think about that. Think about next time you're putting your offering in online, your tithe in online. Let's say a friend calls you up and you answer the phone and you're just like laughing your head off, and they're like, "Bro, what's going on? Why are you so excited? Why are you laughing?" And you're just like, "I'm just putting in my tithe." I mean, that sounds ridiculous. But this is really the image that Jesus wants in our mind when it comes to being generous, when it comes to giving of our finances to the mission of God. And I wonder for you, are you a cheerful giver? Imagine how there's just this contrast between how the way most of us give, right? We give sort of reluctantly, as the text says, or maybe under compulsion. We give when we feel like it, instead of with joy welling up in our hearts, choosing to be generous to the mission of God. So that's my challenge to you. I don't know how that looks in your life. Maybe you've never chosen to give to the mission of God. I would encourage you, just start. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like, start somehow today. That's been our journey as a couple, is just choosing at the very beginning of our marriage, with whatever we had, to choose to be generous and to tithe to the local church. And then as we grew in our finances, we're able to do more. We became more and more generous. And we've just seen God be such a blessing in that way. And this is how it actually works. When we send out our tithe online, we actually have it automated every month. I see it on the bank account, and I do get this sense of joy and excitement and almost laughter in my heart as I see those finances go out, because I know how much of a difference it's making to the people of God and to the mission of God in Alaska and across the world. And so thank you. If you're someone who gives to the mission of ACF, I'm just so grateful for you. And if you haven't ever before chosen to be generous with your finances, I just want you to know God loves a cheerful giver and will abound to you with all things in all grace as you choose to be faithful to Him.